Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Signature Style Saturday. And I think one of my signatures right now is having lots of monarch butterflies in the garden. I cannot believe how many we have, and we had equally as many last weekend when we had the Friends of OU Breast Institute fundraiser garden tour. And so many of you requested, wondered if you were going to see it, would you like to get your own personal garden tour? So I thought what we'd do today is share with you a lot of the excitement that went on last weekend. We had over 200 people. We raised lots of money for breast cancer research, which we are thrilled about, and breast cancer services, I should say, to populations that really are underserved when it comes to breast cancer detection and things of that nature. So we really feel like we did something very, very good, and it made us feel good. So Stuart's going to share with you a bunch of the footage. If you came to the cottage, you may see yourself. We had people from everywhere, Wisconsin, Utah, North Carolina, California, Illinois, Missouri, Texas, Kansas, Louisiana. I mean, I was absolutely slayed by the number of you that came from out of state. It was a beautiful, beautiful weekend, and the Heritage Hills Home Tour was also going on. It was Chamber of Commerce weather for Oklahoma City. Not so much today, because today it's supposed to get up to 90. We are wondering if it's ever going to cool down, and we're about, Stuart, to break a record if it gets up to 90 today that we set in 1976 for a record high. But despite that, we are going to take a look around the cottage, the garden, say hello to some monarchs, and well, what do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, there was a lot in bloom, as you can imagine, last weekend, but I think there's even more in bloom right now because it cooled down for a little while and then it got hot again. So lots of things are in bloom that had to kind of go through a second resurgence. A lot of the lantana, the pentas, and things that I deadheaded, but they're coming along quite nicely now, and they will bloom their heads off probably until first frost. So here's just what things look like on the Upper East Side. I remulched a bunch of stuff before the tour. I pulled out a lot of things that didn't look their best, that were kind of powdery, had powdery mildew on them. The It's a Breeze roses, so interesting to me that I knew that they were pollinator friendly, but boy, they are far more pollinator friendly than I anticipate. One thing I also did not anticipate, and that's that I knew, or I suspected, that squirrels would be the pumpkin threat this year, but no, it's been grasshoppers. Wow. Many grasshoppers and so many moths. And this year you can see right here on this pumpkin how the grasshoppers have been chewing away at the nodules on this fairy tale pumpkin. And you see all the little bites. If that had been squirrel damage, they would have just taken the whole chunk. But slowly but surely, the grasshoppers are, well, they're just very predatory on my pumpkins, and I don't like it. But the Upper East Side is looking good. I have been sharing so many of the butterfly weed pods. Look at all of them. And then the pods, excuse me, ma'am, the pods here, Stuart, let's see if we can get a close-up.
That way.
And I would tell people if they wanted to see something up close and personal that they really can't hurt anything. That would include you, Stuart. So look here. So these are the pods. And then the pods put out seed heads like this. And for some reason they attract, and this is my first question of the day, what is that little Halloween-looking bug? I don't know what it is. Can you see it there, Stuart? What that Halloween-looking bug is. It's got kind of a harlequin quality to it. But obviously, the butterfly weed is still attracting tons of pollinators. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, they're just having all sorts of fun. So I want to spread the love. So I have been giving everyone pods of the butterfly weed so that we can really in our neighborhood attract even more, and not just on my block but in other areas of Mesta Park. Neighbors have commented they've never seen this many butterflies in our neighborhood before, so I'm really trying to encourage that. And well, I just told Stuart, no matter how many pictures we take of the butterflies, every time you see one you feel compelled to take just one more. And speaking of these container plantings on the front porch, I cannot tell you how fun it is for me to stand inside in the air conditioning and look out here at these two urns, which consistently have all sorts of monarchs on them. And this morning I was looking out here and it just, well, you can see one right there. You can see one right there, Stuart. And when I was looking this morning, I was seeing that it almost looked like I had composed it, because there were equally as the number of monarchs on this side as there were on this side, and they were in the same position. So it was almost completely symmetrical and looked like I had staged it, but they're very happy now. Okay, over here, and this area that I call the Upper West Side, I made an addition that I am thrilled with. And Stuart, if you want to come over here and stand where I'm standing, okay, we can show everyone. And you can see kind of that wiry purple plant. It's right there on your screen. You can see that wiry purple plant. We'll get some up close and personal. That is a kind of Russian sage or Perovskia that grows in a more compact form. It is reblooming again, and I think I'm going to love the way it looks there as a permanent feature in the garden in the summer, especially when it becomes the size of a small bush and not just a perennial. I think it's going to be really beautiful. I'm amazed that with our heat, that the hydrangeas, the white wedding hydrangeas, aren't any more burnt to a crisp than they are. Yeah. You can see that all of these are still just really stunning. And remember, I face south, so opportunities for them to get crispy are many. And I think what I'm going to do here pretty soon is some of these that are intact and really don't have any brown edges, I'm going to cut a lot of them. So many people have come by to look at the garden, and they have requested if they could have a few blooms of the dried hydrangeas. So of course they can. I will spread the love. Stuart, at your feet, right here at the entrance to Lemon Lane, look at all of the golden feverfew in here. And this area has drip, and when the sprinkler goes off, this stays kind of consistently moist, which is, I think, why I had such excellent germination here. And I'm going to remember that for next year when I want something to germinate in a place that I can then transplant it later. Some of it will stay because that golden feverfew is just the perfect additive to Lemon Lane. So I think it will be beautiful here. But a lot of it, again, I will plant in tufts along the brick edging on both west side and east side. And I think Lemon Lane just looks pretty beautiful right now, if I do say so myself. Stuart's going to walk this way because I want you to see what it looks like from this direction. And I also want to show you just how beautiful the encore azaleas look over here. This is carnation. And these are ivory, and they continue to grow, giving me not only privacy, but it's my favorite way to use encore azaleas now, and that is plant them next to something where they will just kind of weave themselves in and through other kinds of arching branches. I love that look of insinuating one shrub into another. We talked a little bit about that when I was discussing blooming shrubs as a way to make your garden more low maintenance. And along those same lines, so many of you enjoyed that video and requested more of that kind of content. So I've got another video in mind which we will be shooting coming up. And that is, how do I know how many evergreens I should have relative to how many blooming shrubs and other things that I have. And we're going to kind of come up with a formula and a ratio for you. So if you're installing a new garden this year, a new landscape this year, or reinventing a garden bed you already have, you can kind of use that as a guideline. I want to point out a couple of other things that you inquire about quite a bit, and that is the Irish mint euonymus. You may recall, look at how tall and gorgeous this one is as an evergreen alternative to boxwood. This one I planted at this, I want to say I planted this the first year, so this one is 3 years old. You may recall that in my window box I planted two that were about half this size, and because ultimately they would get about this big, I transplanted them to one of the new beds in the alley garden. So I'm going to show you that when we get to that part of the garden tour. But yes, it is absolutely beautiful. It makes a wonderful evergreen counterpoint to the Encore azaleas. And then, Stuart, this is the money shot, I think, right now at this time of year and at this time of day. And look at how my redbud trees are starting to arch in all directions, giving me more shade and just a little bit more intimacy and a lovely canopy overhead. Here on the Upper West Side, I wanted to show you some of the places where I'm going to position that golden feverfew once it cools off, and as they are relative to where we plant the tulips, and that is all along this edge. So remember that things like the lantana and the pentas, those will no longer be here in the spring. So I want something to take up that space and fill that void, and the golden feverfew will assume this color and will be approximately that size, but look more like have much more of a ferny texture, and it will spill out over the edge. And it's really, I think, a crucial component of the spring show, a wonderful, wonderful member of the supporting cast. And I definitely want more of that this year than I've had in previous years. Someone asked me recently, it's a young follower who is wanting to start their own YouTube channel, and they asked me the methodology for, how often do I shoot my own garden, and do I feel like it gets redundant shooting the garden over and over again? And it might get redundant to some of you, but I also know, but my thinking on this, and tell me if you agree, my strategy is, number one, a garden is an ever-changing thing. And if I was standing in exactly the same position in the summer or in the winter or in the spring, it would look completely different than it looks right now. And I think it's fun to see a garden kind of morph over time from one season into the next. The other thing is we're trying to build community here, and I want you to feel as if you're my friend, and I do feel as if you're my friend, and that was very much in evidence at the garden tour. So I want you to feel like you are visiting a garden that you know and love and have access to repeatedly, so you can see how it changes, how I think about making changes, and I think it also helps you take ownership in it as your garden. And I think that's also reflected in the number of comments that all of you make. Sometimes as we collectively make a decision, sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't, but I like the fact that I think some of you, well, you feel like this is your garden as well as mine. Wait, do all of these come from your garden?
Yeah, and there's some on the other side.
On the other side? Okay, do you know what this is called? What is this called?
I don't know. Sorry?
It's a zinnia.
Oh.
And you know who loves zinnias as much as we do?
Who?
Your butterflies. Your monarch butterflies love them. And you've got some salvia, and these look like little geranium flowers. You got all these at your house?
Yeah.
From your garden? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and there's a lantana.
Here's a yellow one and some berries.
Some berries. And,
yeah. These berries are for you, so you can give to the birds.
I can give to the birds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wait for the green one to turn red.
Okay. And can I put these out for the butterflies to enjoy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And you know what? This one, can you stand up and show everybody? Because who is playing football today? OU.
Yeah.
And who are they playing? It's OU Texas this weekend. So I'm glad that we have you to be a cheerleader and cheer us on. Can you do a cheer?
Yeah.
Okay, do a cheer for us, holding these 2 red flowers that match your outfit. Uh-oh. Okay, there you go. Yeah, do you know how to do a cheer?
Yeah.
Can you do it?
I know how to do a cheer, but I'm a little nervous to do it.
You're a little nervous to do it? Okay,
We all get nervous. It's okay.
Can you do a jump? Can you just do a jump?
Yeah.
Okay,
That
very
was good.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Oh, look at the ball. There's a little leaf there.
There's a little leaf there coming off. That's so nice.
Funny.
I know, that is funny.
But they're cute.
Yeah, they are very, very cute. And you are very, very cute when you hold that.
Yeah.
Have you planted your butterfly weed seeds yet?
We did.
Yeah.
You did?
In your back there.
Okay, yeah, because pretty soon, none of my friends love butterflies as much as Clara loves butterflies.
I like butterflies because I like to catch them and because I like the look of the wings. They're cute.
Their wings are cute, but you like other bugs too, I've noticed. You've
I-
kind of moved on from roly-polies though. For a while you really loved roly-polies, but now you seem to really like butterflies.
I like gold. And do you know what I really like?
What?
Do you know, Mommy?
What?
Those teeth make those sounds. The
cicadas.
The cicadas?
Oh, wow.
I know. They really do make those sounds.
Yeah, I catch one before then I let it go. I think.
You let it go.
Do you like the shells you see up around?
Yeah, I see a lot on the floor trees.
Yeah.
On where
That's where they are.
is.
I
It's a
know.
lot.
It is a lot, but you are just my nature girl, aren't you? You are
Yeah.
just my nature girl. Thank you for coming over and visiting me. I love my basket of flowers. Would you help me arrange them in the front yard
Yeah.
where the butterflies might get them?
Yeah.
Okay.
This might be a perfect place for them.
I-
There's a lot of more flowers there.
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot more flowers there. Hi, how are you all?
And you are?
Anything here on the street, you'll find plants in that book.
Yes.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh my goodness. Well, made all of this happen and did it at my funeral.
Oh, yeah.
Well, as always, we have lots of happy interruptions. Happy interruption number 1 was my darling Clara from across the street. Love her and loved her little cheerleader outfit. Let's hope that it works against Texas today, is for her to do a cheer. So this is basically just what people saw when they first pulled up. In the footage that Stuart's going to show you, we had big tents out here. They were selling my books. They were giving away lots of information for Southern Living and Better Boxwood and Encore Azalea. They also had, obviously, lots of very important information on self-breast examination, all of that kind of thing, and where resources are available for anyone interested in breast health. And then we're just going to do this kind of quickly. You can see the sprinklers are going off. This is one of the things that I was talking about when I'm just adding colors that I like of mums into the landscape as real plants. And then I'll just cut those down midsummer, and then they'll be pretty in the fall. And I love that white on white with the kaleidoscope abelia. Boy, it's one of my new favorites too. It has fragrance, and now its branches are starting to arch like Miss Lemon abelia. And that's one of my favorite characteristics of it, is its form. And more butterflies. And then here, this is all foxglove. So all this foxglove, once it cools down, will be relocated. Most of it along on the upper east side. Sounds like a place in New York, doesn't it? Oh, and I love it that, you know, at first you think, well, why do much in a side yard? But people that are walking, they can really see what I have growing in my side yard, because the side yard is so prominent because I'm on a corner. And I think that, silly me, oh, Linda, I just didn't really think about that until this year. So some of this stuff is probably in this full sun is feeling a little droopy, but someone was asking me, Linda, what do you mean when you say keep it watered till it's established? Well, that's a very relative thing based on how much natural rain you're getting, where you live, how hot it gets, what exposure it has. But I really want to make sure that I give all of this stuff supplemental watering at least for the first couple of years. And how do I tell if it's just droopy or it needs to be watered? If it's just got sun fatigue or it needs to be watered? And well, that's just as simple as putting my finger down about an inch into the soil. And this one is looking a little droopy because it's not yet established, but it is more than moist below the mulch. So I think it's okay. And that's because I have drip line here. So when we come back, we'll finish up. We'll take a look at the backyard and then go Sooners. Okay, here's more of those same white mums that I'll be planting into the ground once they're finished. And then I'll probably just put some small evergreens. I really didn't have time to find exactly what I wanted in there. And then we had the backyard kind of decked out. Honestly, all of you, I can't remember if we showed you what it looked like before the tour. When we had kind of styled it with pumpkins and things, but you're getting an eyeful now of what it looks like with the pumpkins. A lot of people asked about how did I get my pumpkins shiny? And that's, I just put a spritz of clear enamel on them. And I only do it like here just on the top, right on the shoulder where the sun hits. I don't do the whole thing unless for some reason it's deemed necessary. Consequently, most of them they can go into the compost heap or they can go to the farms or whatever. So that's my tip. We were asked about 3,000 times, I think, about that. We
even pulled out the can.
Yeah, we even pulled out the can and showed people. And it just looks, I don't know, it's just very comfortable, except for the fact that it's too hot, and we have yet to be able to light a pinon fire back here.
It's an issue.
It is an issue. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you will consider, if you've got an amazing garden, maybe doing something for your community as a fundraiser for a very, very important cause. That And if you would also consider giving us a thumbs up, make sure that you subscribe and follow us, and most importantly, share with others who might find this kind of information helpful. And because it's all about community here and supporting one another. So you guys take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Well, you can tell it's Saturday because there's that noon siren. One thing that was really important to me this year in the backyard was that I wanted to have more of the plants that attract the monarchs so that they would come to the backyard as well as the front. And so I have made a notation that I want to plant more lantana back here, and I also planted some butterfly weed in some of the container plantings. It doesn't always look great, but it does its job, just like that verbena is doing its job right now, attracting that gorgeous monarch, which very much fits the color palette of the backyard. And now I've got a big ask. The video that we did recently talking about blooming shrubs and evergreens as a measure that you can take to ensure a lower maintenance garden. Many of you told me that was your favorite one, or one of your favorite ones. I alluded to that earlier. If you want me to share more very specific design videos, topical videos like those, please let us know. We obviously want to produce what kind of content, what kind of material is helpful to you. So in the comments below, this is a commercial asking you to give us some ideas on what you want to hear about garden design, particularly because right now in the fall, it's very much planting time.